Hey Aurora, what day is it today? What's the date?
It might be the 22nd of December of 2025.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like early 2024 when these matches were recorded.
Oh, you're telling me that we're somewhere around 15th of April
Yeah, 2024.
2024?
Hello and welcome back to Double Dip Draft Season 7. I am your host, Spood, coach of the Southtown Sandslashers, and joining me for round 1 of playoffs is...
Aurora, coach of the Hundsbrook Hunters, and we have playoff replays to analyze.
We do. They're a little dusty. You have to, mind the cobwebs and things, but we're finally doing this! For no particular reason. And, we already know how everything went. You already know how everything went. We'll still kind of keep up the format of years gone by and say, like, hey...
That's right. We put on the clown nose, the clown wig, the clown makeup.
Right.
And we run this circus like a proper director.
We do. So, if you'll indulge us, we've got 4 matches to cover as we head into round 1 of playoffs for Season 7 of Double Dip Draft, and we have a graphic we can refer to, which should be coming up on screen now. Just as a little bit of preface to this, round 1, of course, has buys. Since we have 3 divisions, we don't have an even 24 players in playoffs. Or rather, it would be 16 players, I think, in playoffs. We only have 12. So that means that the top seeds of each division, plus the second seed out of Teal Division, which is the highest by seeding, got buys into round 2. So we are not going to see matches from Scoots, Aurora, Vincent, or Not Pimp, as they received the buys this year.
Yeah, meanwhile, everybody else has to scramble 1 extra round, as opposed to the people that got to buy into top 8.
Yeah. So what we're going to be covering today is Aurora. No, we're not. Just said not Aurora. Sorry, it's been a little bit. It's been like at least a week since I recorded one of these. We've got Claire versus Nick. We've got Snake versus Black Captain. We've got IDM versus Kenneth, and we've got Bananas versus Milo. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna drag this over my other monitor so I can see it better. We are going to get started. First match is going to be IDM of the Brussels Espeons versus Kenneth of the washed up Wishiwashis. Rare to see IDM in a round 1 for playoffs. He's generally going to be receiving that bye. And Kenneth has also historically, I believe, received a bye. I think he got the bye last season. It's kind of complicated to check that, so don't take my word for it. But this is a pretty high-level match, and you wouldn't expect it to be in round 1 of playoffs, but it is on account of Scoots absolutely decimating and Not Pimp showing up, getting that 5-2 out of Teal. Both the 3rd and 4th position, and the 5th position even, out of Teal went 4-3, and Nihilus, unfortunately, his differential was too low to get the advancement over Snake and Kenneth. So we'll get back to Snake later, but right now, Kenneth versus IDM. IDM coming out of the Violet Division in 2nd place with a staggering 6-1 plus 14. Certainly a fantastic main season, but just barely on the diff, losing out to Aurora.
Yeah, I managed to steal the buy from Violet Division under both Claire and IDM's noses.
Yeah. Yeah, this season was a little bonkers, a little strange. There was a lot to keep track of and a lot of unexpected upsets and things like that. So, IDM versus Kenneth. I mean, let's talk about the team preview. We did allow some jank to happen, regrettably. In hindsight, we're not going to let this happen going forward, but this season, there was kind of a mad scramble after the Season 7 results for people to swap around a bunch of their Pokemon. People who knew they weren't going into playoffs were trying to offload their Pokemon to people who were going to playoffs, and there was a lot of wheeling and dealing and handshaking. And among those trades were Kemeth's Tier 1, which was Terrapagos the whole season, is now a Gliscor, which is a much better Pokemon.
Yeah, Kemeth has been trying to make Terrapagos work the whole season, but unfortunately, without it being allowed to terrestrialize because it's too high tier, it can't use like the strong Terra Starstorm. Star Terra Storm? Whatever.
I believe it's Terra Starstorm, yeah, I think.
Yeah, which is what 120 base power or something if you're Terrad.
Like Terra Stellar, I think. It's weird. I don't remember. Unfortunately, we're a little out of practice.
There's some caveats to it, but like it is strong. It does drop your special attack by 1 stage, physical and special attack, I believe. Actually.
Yeah, normal.
So it's kind of like make it rain in that way.
But it actually raises them if you're Terrapagos, if you're like the terrestrialized, it's more like a contrary, superpower or something like that. So, but yeah, we tiered it at number 1. I think the DLC was still pretty fresh at this point when we were running the season, when we were doing the tiering for Season 7. And we kind of expected Terrapagos' regular non-Terra form to still be very good. It had a lot of coverage options, and it had spin, and, it was pretty bulky. So it felt like it had a lot of stuff going for it, but just in practice, it really under-delivered. And so it makes a lot of sense that when given the opportunity, Kemeth was like, I would rather have Gliscor, which is a good Pokemon.
Yeah, traded with Cabral, I believe.
That sounds correct. Whereas, obviously, IDM has a cracked Tier 1 in Annihilate.
Yeah. I mean, like, IDM's entire team is just, like, 5 monsters and Flareon.
Yeah, basically.
Meanwhile, like, Kemeth pulling out a bit more of the lower tiers, opening up, like, a bunch of, like, tricky boxes to try and build something to counter IDM as hard as he possibly can.
Yeah.
And we'll have to take a look if that pays off for him, yes or no.
That is true. I think of note before we jump in, we've got some interesting Terra types on deck. On IDM side, he has got Ice potential on Revavroom, Steel potential on Flareon, and Steel on Primarina. Primarina also notably just a really good value pick. That thing being able to Terra has actually, it went a long way on his team.
Yeah, he actually like noticed when he drafted it initially that like I forget the Pokemon's name, but that thing with Terra is able to take on 1v1 pretty much any S tier Pokemon that we had put in the ranking.
Yeah.
Primarina. That's the name?
Yes, that's the one. You got there.
Yeah. On Kemeth's side, we have a Fire-type Terra on Blossom, Psychic Terra on the Bruxish, a Fighting-type Terra on the Braviary.
Yeah. And I think this is the only one that can Terra. I forget if
Typhlosion's allowed to Terra.
Let me go. I'll go fact check that while you keep vamping.
Yeah. Basically, like, all very offensive. Like, where IDM has, like, a bunch of defensive ones, like the Steel type on Flareon and Primarina, Kemeth has gone offensive, trying to hit the things that the Pokemon usually struggle with, or struggle with typing with. For instance, the Blossom. Like, it can be pretty scary when it's, like, Quiver Danced up, but usually it struggles doing much with it because it's mostly stuck to ground or grass coverage.
It's
but
a lot
Terra
more
Fire,
intended to be like a support mon than a sweeper, so Quiver Dance doesn't go that well, generally.
Yeah, but like with Terra Fire, it suddenly like does become a lot more scary because suddenly like the grass types and steel types that wall it usually aren't as effective anymore.
Yeah. So the Typhlosion is B tier, and it cannot Terra.
Not allowed to Terra. Okay.
Yeah.
Aside from that, like the Fighting Terra for Braviary can also just help it punch through mostly like Steel and Rock types that its Flying Psychic Carry typing can't quite punch through usually.
Mm-hmm.
At least not without Tinted Lens, which it does have.
But
and
then,
lastly, the Psychic typing on Bruxis is just to like give Psychic Fangs more oomph.
Yeah, which it doesn't need more oomph. Turns out, no, that thing hits really, really hard. But yeah, it's you know, we talked about this a little bit when we were taking our notes for this. Braviary, it really likes Tinted Lens. Obviously, Tinted Lens is a really great ability, but it also really likes Sheer Force, which is also a really great ability. So, you know, taking on that Terra Fighting maybe gives you the coverage without having to sacrifice your Sheer Force boost, and instead you can keep your Sheer Force and not have to invest in Tinted Lens for your Psychic to hit Steel types. So, gives and takes. But let's go ahead and have a gander at how this match went! Annihilate into Bruxish, and IDM just get the hell out of there. Bruxish is naturally faster, and, you know, we haven't seen enough revealed yet.
Yeah, immediately rips the Terra, rips that Psychic Fang. Like, he saw the potential KO on that monkey, and he wanted it gone.
Yeah, his just vision turned red. He was like, I gotta kill that thing. I mean, even after an Intimidate, that thing did like 60-something to Salamence in one shot, the Psychic Fang, so very strong.
Very strong. The liquid voice kicking in here, turning the normally Psychic type Psychic Noise into a now Water type move.
Yeah.
So it can actually hit the Duck type.
You'll see a lot of heal block passed around in this game. And this Flareon is weird. You want to talk about this Flareon?
Yeah, so this Flareon is like a tanky, supportive Flareon with like wish bashing capability. Like just flamethrower as its offensive move for some reason. I guess not to damage itself with like Flare Blitz. Presumably has Flash Fire, so like its Steel typing is even better because it's not threatened by the fire from Typhlosion or the Terrafire Blossom, which can't Terrestrialize anymore because Bruxish has already taken that.
Yeah, which...
Why is there no fucking...
I don't know, some of the sprites just aren't showing up, it's fine. They were there earlier, so yeah, just take my word for it. Just pretend there's a Revivern there.
Just, you know...
Yeah, Gliscor is going to have to kind of do the world here. Obviously, Ursaluna, generally, kind of you'd think of it as like a Trick Room mon, but this one is running Trailblaze, and that makes it very scary because there's a lot of sort of middling speed tiers on Kemet's team, and a Guts Facade off of this thing is really, really scary.
Yep. Kemeth also taking advantage of the protecting by just like healing more and also racking up more burn damage on the Ursaluna.
Yeah, he tries to
finally
gamble there.
IDM.
Yeah,
IDM has said, I'm fast enough, I'm just going to hit Facade now and claims the kill. And Braviary with Vacuum Wave, which I'm not sure how it's punching, but you know, good on it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, cleaning up and then dying to Rage Fist. So they're just like trading a few Pokemon back and forth, and in comes this strange Flareon again.
Yeah, you see Kenneth double out into Grimmsnarl to get screens back up. I do like that move. Obviously, this Flareon, very strange. Like, the closest I can think of is it's like kind of a better defensive typing Umbreon without foul play that can burn stuff. Like, it's kind of hard to describe what this thing is even trying to do here. But it does a good job of it.
Yeah, it is certainly like wasting a lot of the time that these screens are up.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like Kemeth, possibly only having Flip Turn as a water move on the Bruxish. I'm not sure like what else is running, maybe like Crunch or something.
Yeah. Well, I think he was just afraid of getting burnt, if anything.
That's also possible, yeah. And now his screen turns are starting to run out. At least like the Reflect ones are.
Yeah.
The light screen did come back up. Infernal Parade, a ghost type move, so not proccing the Flash Fire that this thing most likely has.
Yeah. Again, this Wish, I mean, he's just getting so much mileage out of it. He's just, you know, those screens are now gone.
Yep.
Psychic Noise
and everything is like
too, so it's just like
yeah, and everything is at like roughly the same health it was at the start of the screens.
IDM's approach has been almost, you know, mostly focused on just like pinching Kemeth's options shut. Like, he's not really putting on offensive pressure. He's just got like all of the right defensive pieces to stop Kemeth from getting anything going.
Yeah, and he's chipping away. Like, everything besides Gliscor, like, once it's damaged, it's damaged. Oh, and Blossom, I guess. Blossom can Giga Drain. assuming it's not heal blocks. But Blossom also just like has no answer to Rever Room.
Yeah,
Like nothing in its arsenal. Like Steel Poison type, it just doesn't have a good response to. And the combination High Horsepower and Iron Head after a gear shift, unfortunately, enough to clean up the rest of Chemist's team here.
Yep.
After everything was chipped down, the offensive options were down, the screens were stalled out. IDM proving why he is the master of the screens. He knows how to play with them. He also damn well knows how to play against them.
Yeah, he just, again, very elegant from IDM, always is. You know, he's just super duper knowledgeable. He had all of the right niche stuff. You know, hit all the right buttons, had all the right pieces in all the right places. And Kenneth, I mean, his credit played pretty well, I thought. But yeah, it was just, again, a very slow smothering from IDM of all of the stuff that Kenneth wanted to get rolling.
Yeah, early on, I feel like IDM like traded the pieces that he noticed he could miss the most, especially trading getting the kill on Gliscor with Ursaluna. Mm-hmm. Like that punched just like such a hole in like the defense of Kenneth.
Yeah.
That it was kind of just like gaping there, and IDM kept just like poking and prying at it until other things started falling over.
Yeah, so difficult, unfortunate for Kenneth. You know, that is the end of his season. Out at, I think that's 7th? Or, what place is that?
It's 9th place.
9th place, right, because, yeah, okay, got it. There's 4 people in 7th, so.
Yes, and IDM moving on to face Vincent later in the second round of playoffs.
That's another big Titanic match, which we'll have to get over to next video. But in this video, we
can only do it next week when it all happens.
Right? Yeah, when, you know, next week when it's when it's May of 2024, we'll get back to you on that. In the meantime, why don't you tell us about the next match, huh?
The next match we've got lined up for you is Snake of the Miami Milotics versus Black Captain of the Martian Mantines. This is a microwave match. It's all...
What kind of girl are you? That might be an old meme. I don't know if anybody's gonna get that. Yeah, Snake versus Black Captain. Wow. So this, with super due respect, I think both these players are swell and obviously proved themselves. It was a very stacked season in general. But compared to IDM versus Kenneth, this being in the same round is like, that's kind of strange. What are you guys doing here? You know, you don't necessarily expect to see. More so, I would say, it reflects on IDM and Kenneth. Like you wouldn't expect them to see.
Yeah.
Or expect them to this early round.
Yeah, it was a case of Kenneth ended up as the 4th place in Teal Division, whereas Snake here is 3rd, also in Teal Division. Mm-hmm. Black Captain came out as 4th in Scarlet Division.
Yeah. And again, difficult divisions, top to bottom. This is going to kill me. Was this Snake's first season? I should have looked this up.
Let me go and...
yeah, well, while you're looking at that, you know, Snake, even if it isn't... Okay, it was. So, getting to playoffs on your first season playing is really super duper impressive. And, you know, especially, again, in a division as stacked as Teal was, very impressive to get here. Black Captain also, I think this is his first playoffs. Again, that's something you may have to check for me.
Yeah, it's his 3rd season playing, his first time in playoffs.
Yeah. So he's been a slow burner, you know, he's got a handful of decent wins, and this being his intro to playoffs, you know, fighting against someone who's still a bit of a wild card, that you don't have, like, a long match history to go back to. You just know that they made it into playoffs on their first season. You know, that's a little intimidating, but it's also a little refreshing. Like, you know, you're not up against somebody like an IDM or a Scoots who's very entrenched and very scary. You're up against somebody who maybe just folds under the pressure. You know, you have no idea. You don't have any frame of reference. It's entirely possible that they do fine, and in fact, maybe that's something to worry about. But I think if I'm Black Captain and I got my pick of who to fight round 1, I probably would have grabbed Snake too.
Yeah. Looking at Terra previews, we have 2 potential Terras from Snake's end. The low kicks being able to go Terra Dark to make that Sucker Punch and or Throat Chop, I guess. hit even harder, especially with Tinted Lens.
Yeah.
And the Donphan, which can go Ice type.
Okay, I didn't even notice that one. Very, I can't imagine why you would want Donphan Ice type unless you just wanted to boost Ice Spinner. Because it's generally kind of a more defensive, like, rapid spin Stealth Rock, And you don't really want to give 25% weakness to Stealth Rock on something that would normally only take, like 6% or something like that. So, I don't know. Interesting choice.
Yeah, he might just not end up tearing it,
True, maybe. Whereas Black Captain has a few Terra choices of his own. Notably, he's got Fighting-type Fortress to maybe make some use of Body Press. He's got Rock-type Mismagius, which is just good for coverage reasons. And Ground-type Sui and Decidueye, which again, I think is just for coverage purposes, mostly.
It's very possible. It does also, again, just help somewhat defensively.
Yeah, it's fine. I just looking at Knight's team, or Snake's team. Ground is barely weak to all the stuff here. It doesn't really do much better.
I do feel, I feel the Rock Terra on Mismagius is better because it allows it to potentially take a hit from that scary fish that fucks your special defense.
Yeah, shout out to Chiyu! Another one that got a lot of mileage this season, did pretty well on Snake's team. Iron Boulder, man, that thing is crazy. Can I just say, it's so fast and it hits so hard and it has that perfectly accurate rock-type move, which is kind of a rarity.
Yeah, goes through protects as well, the Mighty Cleave. And it doesn't even sacrifice that much base power for it. It's no Stone Edge. I'm not even sure if it gets Stone Edge.
Well,
but having a fully accurate rock type move is valuable because rock is just very strong offensively. And if we look at Knight's team, he did bring 2 ground types to try and help against the fights with Iron Boulder, and also low kicks is one of the best. Hey, you get the fuck out and let me chunk something else.
Yeah. So
revenge things. So it's gonna be a very key piece on Snake's end, I feel.
Yeah. Gonna be really nice, especially again, into Iron Boulder, which is weak to Sucker Punch and First Impression. So, very threatening. I think last thing to note as well is, obviously Iron Boulder really strong. There's some flexibility if you wanted to Scarf it to just absolutely outspeed everything. If you wanted to Bandage to make it that much more threatening into this Regenerator core, or if you wanted to run booster energy on it, to kind of be a little bit, best of both worlds, but only one time. Black Captain also has the option to set up a manual Prankster Electric Terrain with Thunderous. So that can also be a way to support Iron Boulder and give it even more flexibility with what it might want to hold as its item. Frees up the booster energy slot if he decides to play it that way.
Yep, and he's going to need that power because Snake is running a dual Regenerator core with both Amoonguss and Tornado Therian. Which, double Regenerator cores, we've seen them in the past. They are just really annoying and really strong. The best solution for them is to just one-shot them, make the healing not matter.
Yeah, basically, at least 2-shot them on the switch-in, catch them, play your... you're gonna have to make predictions at some point, generally speaking, especially with something like Amoonguss, which can spore you if you don't already have something sleeping, and that's just so punishing if you don't, force it out immediately. So I think it's gonna be in Black Captain's best interest to hit hard and predict well. Let's go ahead and watch it, huh?
Yeah, let's see how they did.
Caster onto Fortress lead, pretty passive on both sides.
Yep. Get them rocks up immediately.
Traded rocks.
Traded rocks. Interesting to set up rocks in front of Fortress specifically because that thing can just rapid spin. Though I guess taking a third of your health with each Earth power isn't the most desirable. Yeah. And that power gem nailing that low kicks, dropping it immediately.
Yeah, really unfortunate.
Removing one of the most reliable answers that Knight had to Boulder, unfortunately. And now this thing also tearing to Ice.
Yeah, Terra Ice. I mean, that Ice Spinner does just demolish the Decidueye too, so there's 2 quick kills. But now again, we're trying to do hazard management with an Ice type, so not ideal.
Yep, and Captain opting not to spin, but to Stone Edge instead, nailing the Tornado Starion, who immediately backs off.
Yeah, I mean, he's making those predictions.
Yeah, he's getting the reads right, for sure.
Ooh, that crit! You know, if it weren't Regenerator, that'd be pretty devastating. But it is, so it's not.
Yeah, could have potentially terrored for the extra power, though maybe it's like an Assault Vest set. He didn't know.
Maybe.
So now we have this Mismatches asleep, and Captain opting to risk trying to stay in and wake up to hopefully nail another power gem, but ends up just dropping for no gain, unfortunately, because now Sleep Loss is once again active and something can be spored again.
Yep. Fortress becomes the sacrificial lamb, but again, we're just regenerating back up. This thing was at like 3%, and now it's back
yeah,
to
this thing was
89.
at 3% like 3 switches ago, and now it's fine again. God, I hate Regenerator. Bleak Windstorm is taking a number on that Incineroar. Incineroar, it's a good mon, it's a bulky mon, but it can't heal without lefties.
Mm-hmm.
So like any damage you get on it is semi-permanent.
And it doesn't usually like to run lefties because it loves boots.
Yeah, it doesn't want to take 25 from rocks every time. And again, like Captain just like getting these reads right, like predicting that he doesn't need to go for Psycho Cut again, that Earthquake's better.
And yeah, Mighty Cleave
And
drops
the Mighty
one
Cleave
shot.
just dropping it from full. Brutal. Fearing a potential Scarf on this thing. Going into Incineroar to eat the overheats, and forcing it to switch out again.
Yep. Protect, just scout, presumably.
Yeah, just seeing what the intentions are. Getting the parting shot off, going back into Fortress. With Amoonguss dead, he doesn't need the sleep sacrifice anymore.
Snake hammering the Ice Spear to try and catch the Thunderous too.
Yeah, and now he can also just like, sack this thing to bring something in safe. Unfortunately, playing this passively allows this thing to recover.
Back up.
And he is running out of like good ways to get rid of Gastrodon, because it is notoriously very, very chunky.
Yep. You gotta have good grass coverage to kill it. Or Crit Grass Knot will also work fine.
Yeah, this thing would, in normal circumstances, likely not die to Grass Knots there. Because Grass Knot only deals 60 base power to Gastrodon.
And then big choke there, and then he doesn't get punished for it. Thunder Waves into a Dark type with Prankster, and then dodges the overheat.
Yeah, it does. He wanted to T-Wave it just to check if it's, or make sure that if it's Scarf that he doesn't get outsped. Mm-hmm. But the U-turn also proves that it's not Scarfs, so like he basically has it blocked in at this point and just Mighty Cleave to victory. Not sure what the Protect is for, but
Just wanted to last a little longer. Wanted to savor the moment,
Yeah, you knew this thing was slower when you went for it anyway. Yeah, 2-0. Black Captain taking his first win in playoffs.
Excellent. It was good. Yeah. It was a pretty, I think they were fairly evenly matched. A couple of blunders, but generally speaking, I mean, a fairly straightforward back and forth kind of match. It does definitely take some brain power and some good predictions to, like I said earlier, break that Regenerator core, and he was making those predictions where it counted.
Yep. A few crits that did potentially change the outcome of the game. That Gastrodon could have sat in front of Thunderous longer. If it wasn't for the crit, it could have just like started to spam recover.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like what it could have done back.
It's tough because it's your only game piece at that point that doesn't just instantly fold to Iron Boulder. Mm. So you kind of need it to be alive, but it's hard to maneuver into a position where it has enough health to live like a Psycho Cut. So I don't know. It was tough, but definitely not impossible for Snake until he lost Gastrodon, at which point, no.
Yeah, at that point, because we know now that the fish wasn't Scarfed, so we knew that it was a game.
So
Boulder just cleaned it up.
still
And
a
now-
really decent showing from Snake, though. I mean, again, to make it into playoffs and to be that close, actually, to even making it to round 2 of playoffs was like, for your first season, I would take that to the bank. I'm happy with that.
100%. And now Black Captain moving on to face me in the second round.
Oh, nice! Good luck, Black Captain. Aurora's pretty good. But hey, still focusing on the first round of playoffs, we have got Milo of the Canadian Cottonees versus Bananas of the Don't Drop Bad Dedennes. This was a kind of a storied, not a storied matchup necessarily, but there is a lot of... This match is kind of a heartbreaker. Basically, there's no easy way to say it.
Yeah, they're both coming in here. Bananas was the second place in Scarlet Division, though also with a 4-3 record. Milo coming in from Violet Division, from the 4th seed. The only person who managed to sneak in with a 3-4 record. So it is definitely like looking to be seated in Bananas' favor.
Yeah. This is Bananas' second time in playoffs, notably the grand winner of Season 6. He's fresh off of his first place victory in that season, where I think he went either undefeated or close to it for his opening season. So just an
Claire
absolute...
defeated him.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Just Claire defeated him.
Claire likes to boast it about it.
Very funny. But Bananas, yeah, not as smooth of a ride this time around in Scarlet, where Vincent, the Hairlin Haluchas, took everybody just by storm with that 7-0 plus 21. Bananas still coming out in second place with a 4-3 plus 9, only just barely ahead of Nick's 4-3 plus 8. So, not as cozy of a second place as you would have liked, and definitely, compared to last season, a bit of an underperformance. But obviously, in underperformance, being second out of your division is like, cry me a river, right? Like, that's awesome. A lot of people can kill for a second out of a division. So, Bananas, a huge threat. Milo's first playoffs, and I believe second season playing.
Yep.
Milo does really grind these out, take these seriously. He scrims and he theory crafts, and he spends a lot of time on it, And I know he was really jazzed about making it to playoffs, and he wanted to go the distance. But, he's a little bit of a memer, and he gets a little bit entrenched in certain strategies. Not to give the game away too much early, but like the same Custat berry that's been on this Araquanid basically every week is still here this time around.
Look, the Araquanid is on a diet, and it has to adhere to it very strictly.
Munch non berry. Banana's also another person who made a swap right at the very end of the season. I gave him my Komala, and so that is now on the team. I really liked Komala. I thought it was, it had a really deep moveset, and with Terra, could be a little crafty, a little tricky, a little interesting. So on the note of Terras, Bananas has access to Terra Bug on Komala and Terra Ground on Piloswine. And I think that's it?
I believe so. Milo, meanwhile, packing the Terrafire on the Slowbro and the Alolan Raichu. And potentially a Terra Water on the Araquanid, if that thing is allowed to Terra.
Go check.
Control F.
Araquanid's a B tier, so no, it cannot.
No, yeah, it's allowed to Terra. Okay, cool. So both of them have 2 Terras.
And Milo going all in on that Terrifier, knowing that it will be very helpful into Meowscarada and especially Golden Go, who is just such a good Pokemon, such a solid, a real block when you're in your team building and you're trying to, negotiate like a specific, it feels like, okay, if I'm going to rely on this status condition, or I'm going to rely on this entry hazard or whatever. It's just, if Golden goes on the enemy team, it always just makes it so much more annoying to pull off any specific strategy like that. So, very irritating from team building. I'm sure that's part of why Milo was like, alright, well, I just gotta have fire coverage on everything that can take it,
Yep. It's just, like, good as gold, shutting down anything not directly attacking it. like it just limits your options so drastically.
So, I don't know, let's go ahead and see how it looks. And again, just politely, to preface this game, this one should be in the bag for Bananas. Rakudid lead into Meowscarada, pretty standard. That 98% off the Life Orb Thunder Punch.
Yeah, the Araquanid immediately like dropping into Costa Berry range, funnily enough.
Yep.
Managing to take out the Meowscarada, which like could have been like a huge pain, but now that it's like gone immediately from I guess an unexpected Costa Berry from Milo's end.
Yep.
Gets a good read. Gets a good Shocker Berry here.
Yeah, good read on Bananas'
part.
Very
good use of the like more niche items that we normally don't see used in other formats.
Rocks up from Bananas and Earthquaked out. You know, Milo basically conceding that like without the Shocker Berry, you know, not that interested in preserving the Alolan Raichu.
Yeah. Also a case of like since Pilosvine can't really heal, knowing that like chipping this down now. Tease it up for a KO later, and Kyurem does just that.
Grabbing those boots off of Skeledirge fairly early. Just so this thing is also kind of pressured to stay in.
Yep. Nana's making good use of the Wish passing from Kamala.
That Steam Eruption miss is super unfortunate. Chips down now Volcanion by 36%, which is probably going to matter.
Speaking of things that are not going to matter, though, this chip on Reuniclus.
True. Now, this is very brave to just nasty plot right in front of this thing. But the quick draw, again, it definitely didn't matter on the Switch, obviously. But, you know, quick draw, you know, Milo is clearly kind of leveraging, you know, kind of the cheese strat. Like, hey, let's just go for it. Let's just try and, you know, set up an early nasty plot and start killing things.
Yep.
And that quick plot...
here... Yeah. Bananas upset about it in the chat, understandably, because like without it, an Earth Power would likely just drops that.
Yeah.
So that's slow, bro, and then he gets the Wish off. And from there, like he's in a very dominant position. Instead, he loses his Volcanion.
Now he's still doing fine here with well. See, the thing is, like between Reuniclus and Golden Go, that was still kind of a winning position for Bananas. Like, I would have felt fairly confident in it. But the Freeze Dry Binks an instant freeze, and now Bananas... and again, you know, we said this when we were taking our notes. Like, Bananas is really good at playing to his outs here. He does all the right stuff to maximize his chance of winning and, like, you know, getting the chip he needs onto... Regieleki. My god, it's so hard to find the names of these things in my brain.
It's only been a week.
I know, it's only been a week. But you see, he stays frozen there and then gets the high roll on the next hit, so he doesn't even get another chance to thaw. And, you know, Golden Go after this lefties can live a hit, but... Yeah, you'll see without the chip that he could have gotten from Reuniclus, he can't kill it.
Yeah, so he goes for Protect again, and realizing he's going to need like at least 2 extra Protects after this to be able to live another one, if that was a high roll. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, like the gods are not here for Bananas today.
Nope.
They decide you do not get another Protect. Volt Switch goes through, drops the Golden Go, and Milo taking his first win in playoffs.
And a monumental upset. Again, I need to remind you at home, Bananas was the effectively nearly undefeated victor of Season 6, and is now out in 9th place to Milo, who advances into the top 8. That is a tough one. You know, that is crushing. Again, Milo played, I would say, like, average to good. Like, he definitely didn't play bad. I was pretty... impressed with how well, you know, he was like the team building
play,
stuff.
Like the play, the prep with like the Sugar Berry, the Gusta Berry we've seen before at this point, and it's a question of if we're just copy and pasting it every week. But you know, like if it works, I guess.
Yeah. But you know, Milo, like sometimes, and again, this season, you know, I'm gonna keep my own personal bias out of the commentary to the best of my ability, but I will say this season was unkind. The RNG was very involved in a lot of matchups, and this one, no exception. Milo got a lot of little advantages, and then a couple of big ones, and it all just mounted together to just, barely be enough to get bananas out. So, yeah, just unfortunate, and I think Milo probably would agree if you were to call and say, like, hey, if just one or two things went bananas' way instead, this would have looked like a very different match. But, after a certain point, like if RNG decides you lose, there's nothing to do about it.
Yep. It is unfortunately the game we play. At certain points, like, you do just get fucked over.
Yeah. Obviously we talk about this sometimes on commentary, like luck management and positioning, and, not all of the time when luck happens is it something that's, like, just totally out of your control. Like, part of the skill set of Pokemon is maximizing the odds of you doing well, playing to your outs, having safety options and contingencies and stuff like that. But again, that's all nice, but after a certain point, like, if it's just, mismoved, get frozen, high rolled, like, if it all just comes at you, like, all of the good positioning and planning in the world can't overcome just a team that always crits you,
Yeah, it's kind of Murphy's Law at this point. Funnily enough, like, Banana being a blaster does not drop, but Milo moving on to face another blaster in Pimp.
That's true, not Pimp. Gotta avenge his boy Bananas! In the meantime, we do have one more, I would say, very interesting matchup at the beginning of playoffs, and I'd love for you to tell me about it.
Indeed, it is White Loaf of the Loafville Lanturns versus Claire of the Maryland Manectrics.
That is a cool match. They're both really good players. Again, this is very similar to seeing like an IDM Kemeth in round one. You're kind of like, that's interesting. What are you doing here?
Yeah, both of these are third place in their respective divisions.
Yeah. Nick coming off of a string of difficult seasons before this. I think it was 4 and 5. Nick didn't manage to get into playoffs. I think went 2 and 5 both seasons, and then he took season 6 completely off, just didn't play. And now in season 7 actually came in with a pretty solid record and was looking really good, had some good wins. Claire obviously just a fixture in playoffs and a very consistent player, and we learned recently the person with the best record against IDM in the entire league from our head-to-head chart, where she's the only person who's +3 on IDM in the entire league.
Yeah.
So,
the head-to-head chart, which we made at the start.
Which has existed, yes, for the last year and a half.
Also, Nick skipped season 5, and season 6 is when he came back. I'm pretty sure he actually dropped to you in playoffs.
Oh no, that's true. Okay, yeah, so that was a little while ago then. Okay, so he already had come back, and this is his second playoffs in a row.
He has 2 good seasons in a row now.
Okay, cool, sweet. So yeah, that's where he belongs, frankly. I think Nick is a really good player, underrated player, frankly, and it's no surprise that he got out of division. Just super solid, super consistent player. And, someone who's definitely capable of taking down Claire. And somebody who had a really fun draft, who had surprising power in the Belly Bolt and the Gardevoir, made very good use of both throughout the entire season.
Yeah, funnily enough, he didn't actually end up bringing his S rank to, his S tier to everything, because Excalibur only saw 5 different games, apparently. And it's not here either.
Well, some people's S tiers just, weren't that impressive. I think Vax is a pretty good Pokemon, but I can see why it wouldn't always be great, especially into a team where Gouging Fire is on the opponent team, and you also have to worry about something like Registeel. A lot of stuff that's, annoying for Vax to get through here, so it doesn't surprise me that he, forewent it in favor of stuff that might be a little more reliable or have a little bit more utility.
True. Bringing out a bunch more of the silly guys, we do see Belly Bolt again. Again, it has been extraordinarily valuable for Nick this whole season. Mm-hmm. With its ability, with Parabolic Charge, gets some funny thing. It gets Volt Switch, a slow Volt Switch for momentum gaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good Pokemon, very valuable.
Interestingly, Claire actually another person who's got a random end game trade Cabral's Vaporeon is on this team, and it's Terra Ghost. And Terra Ghost also on Registeel again, which I think we've seen before. And Terra Ice on Avalugg, which is probably just not going to be Terraing anyway, because Registeel's just way better if it came to that.
Yeah.
Whereas on Whiteliv's team, Gardevoir Fairy and Bellybolt Water, again, those are like staple Terra types that he's brought multiple times in the season, and they always get a lot of good use out of them. So
yeah. It's like for Gardevoir Fairy, it's like dual. It's like both like more defensive because you're not have your Psychic type weaknesses anymore, and it does boost your Moonblast as well still.
Yeah.
So it pulls like double duty.
It does, and it's good. You know, a lot of the times, like you'll see again, you know, Gardevoir is one of those Pokemon that really likes having some kind of choice item, either a Specs or a Scarf, and having that Terra Fairy just, you know, you can either shore up your, you know, lack of big damage, like nuking capability that you might have if you were running it Scarf. You know, you can make up for that difference if you had a Terra Fairy, or conversely, you could just triple down on going all in on the nuke and have a Specs Terra Fairy Moonblast, which is very scary and very difficult to switch into. So, and that's especially nice here.
Gardevoir.
Well, if you look at too on Claire's team, like you know, she is somewhat likely to end up Terra Ghosting on Registeel, and if she does end up doing that, then zero resists to a Terra Fairy Moonblast at all.
Yeah, could be that is like the end game that Nick is aiming for, but we will not find out
unless we
hop into the match.
And we will! Bellybolt, Baby Gronk!
Baby Gronk!
Actually, Baby Gronk showing no Electromorphosis there, I think. Because it would have procced after you.
It got hit and didn't proc. And interesting there, Nick goes for the Soak to change away from the Steel typing. Yep. Not so he can hit it with an electric move, but so he can hit it with a Toxic.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately misses on the Thunderous.
Yeah. And if Nick had just gone for the Hail Mary read and gone for another Toxic into this before it subbed up, this game would have gone way differently. Again, it's always easier to say, like, in hindsight, you know, what you could have done on a turn, but that was a pivotal moment that just did not shake out.
Yeah. We do get a Toxic Debris here, so we do get a 1 spike up on Claire's end. Mm-hmm. And the Soak does at least remove the Stab from the moves from Gouging Fire.
Yep. But you'll note that,
so it is... Yeah.
Sub goes right back up. It's funny, she's just like, I know this thing is going to break my sub, so I gotta sub again. Net zero movement, though, basically.
Net zero, but it does like also waste more times on the screens on Nick's side.
Not true, actually.
Which have gone and didn't accomplish all that much.
Yep. And you'll see, you know, Nick goes for the Dragon Tail, hoping that maybe Claire just tries to get damage, but she wisely puts up a sub and does not get forced out. And it's unfortunate because you see Nick has so much, like, phasing and stuff on his team. You know, he really did prep for this thing to set up sweep, but just the sub has been killing everything. You know, it's been hugely problematic.
Yeah, throughout the main season, Claire has definitely been, like, all about the setup sweeping with, like, Mew with Gouging Fire, doing the body press nonsense with Registeel. And it's been working out for her. Like, that's why she is where she is, of course.
Yep.
And, like, Nick seeing that, like, tried to prepare for it, but, like, she didn't always use the substitutes, and that's what's messing up this whole plan here.
Yep.
We do see some crazy tech from Nick here, though.
Yeah, love the Focus Punch. And I love that from Nick because I think he is trying to kind of twist her arm here into doing the Terra Ghost so that Gardevoir's in a better position. But Claire does, you know, wisely show some restraint and doesn't allow that to happen.
Yeah, and also, unfortunately, the combination of lefties and grassy terrain recovery keep it just outside of range of, like, 2 Focus Punches. Though, amazingly enough, the defense boost that Gorilla Boom now has due to the Grassy Seed does keep its substitute a lot more healthy than it normally would be.
Yeah.
And Claire is struggling with it. Like, she's, like, hopping back and forth trying to get something together here.
Yep. Nick goes for a very smart leech seed there. A little bit risky in the face of, obviously, like a Flare Blitz or something, but was 100% the right call, and Claire's forced to move out again. And he's hitting so many focus punches. Like, he's just nailing them all the time.
He is getting them so well. He's recovering so much with the lead seed as well. He's really trying to claw back. Because he is at a 3 Pokemon deficit.
But he
is not
good
deterred.
buttons.
He is going for, saying you have not won yet.
Yeah, in the same way as Bananas,
here.
right? Like, he's playing to his outs really, really well. Our work comes in. Terra Fairy Moonblast.
We see that Terra Fairy, and
it is Scarf too.
We do see that it's also like faster than this Gouging Fire, which this Gouging Fire hasn't been the fastest, I believe, but unfortunately Registeel is a Pokemon, legally speaking.
Yep. And again, because she didn't Terra Ghost earlier to try and prevent the focus punches, again, very wisely, Gardevoir couldn't just overwhelm this thing.
Yep. Nick probably having like next to no offensive options with his little baby Gronk over here.
Yeah.
Just setting up the things, knowing Claire's likely going to substitute, getting that free switch.
He locks in the energy ball there, but that
because this thing is now a water type instead of a fire dragon.
Forces it out, gets the trace.
Yeah. So even then, like, Moonblast would have been better, because it's just better against other stuff.
But now Baby Gronk is unfortunately way too passive for this moment. Like,
yeah. And the fact that it's slower than Gouging Fire, which, like, Gronk just is slow, that's usually one of its upsides, because you get the slow U-turn, or the slow Volt Switch. But now it just kind of means that it's too much of a passive duck in front of this Gouging Fire, who's just Dragon Dancing up for free. This thing ain't never breaking that sub.
Yeah.
And with times 2 speeds, this Gardevoir is unfortunately done for.
Yeah, it's really too bad, because I felt like Nick was playing so good at the end. I was really, really impressed, and, it felt like just at any moment he could have flipped it back over, especially during the stint with Rillaboom, but unfortunately, commentator cringe, I know to say this, but I will say, one of the closest 6-0s I've ever seen. Like, that looked really doable by Nick up until the very end, despite the fact that he wasn't able to clinch on any one Pokemon.
Yeah, it was clear that, like, Nick was going for the Gardevoir endgame of just, like, spamming Moonblast, Terra Fairy to try and nuke everything down. But unable to break that Registeel, it ended up being just, like, the key piece holding Claire's team together.
Yeah. So, unfortunate for Nick. Again, really good showing. I'm so glad that Nick is a playoff staple again, as he should be. And obviously, nobody can feel that bad about losing to Claire, because Claire is really, really good. So, besides Milo's upset, things more or less went how you'd expect them to go this week. And that ended up being the case. Oh, I don't have the... hold on. I'll grab the other one real quick. That means advancing into round 2 of Double Dip Draft Season 7 playoffs. The matchups are going to now be Scoots versus Claire, Aurora versus Black Captain, Vincent versus IDM, and Not Pimp versus Milo. And those are some exciting matches, some very interesting faces here. Again, Black Captain and Milo in particular being this high up is like, whoa!
Yeah, like it's always, I love it whenever we see new faces in playoffs, because it really like proves that like these people that do often like in main season hover more so around the middle of the pack can make their breakthrough.
Yeah, just get the right matchups and in the right circumstances, like a little bit of help from the RNG, and you can actually make some crazy deep runs. I'm always reminded of Lovin's Season 3, I think. I forget which one exactly it was, but Lovin made it all the way to 2nd place on his first season.
Yeah, but like Lovin week 1 beat me.
Yeah, and
it's
again,
something I will never forget.
Went on to make it to playoffs and then win all the way through, the quarterfinal or semifinals even. Made it all the way to grand. So, it really is like a fairy tale, like anyone can do it kind of story.
Yeah, especially like because we have seen like some Titans fall, like early in playoffs, like that also very much like opens the door for others to make their way in, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. So it's cool. I mean, anything can happen. Very exciting to watch. And for those of you, eagerly awaiting the next round that's going to happen in May of 2024, I hope that you have a fantastic time watching it, and I hope that we had a fantastic time playing it. And by we, I mean you had a fantastic time playing it.